Yeah, it's about time we discuss the future. This week, the future is looking a little bleak. I know Ukraine is still going on, that war is not ending, and people are dying, there's suffering all around. We had floods in Karachi, we've got all kinds of issues of inequality and disparity in our country, and all over the world, there's left versus right, there's woke against anti woke. But we have a little problem that no one's talking about because they feel ashamed to. I'm not ashamed. I will talk about it. We've already got the VIP movement culture driving us nuts in our part of South Mumbai. Okay. And now we've got Ganpati. And Ganpati is a great festival. Let me just put that rider out there because I live in India. No problem. But it's been hijacked by rich people who spend too much money on it. And what happens is the jams will be even more. But here's a thought. What happens when 1 plus 1 makes 2, or in this case, 69 and a half? Which is very clearly what's going to happen here, because we have VIP movement plus, and this happened today, plus we have Visurgent. This also happened today. When they come together, these two forces, they're insurmountable, and it's death to civil society, and there's nothing much we can do. So I'm going to hide for 10 and a half days. I should hide for the remaining part of the year as well, because the VIP movement is not going to stop. And I'm going to fast unto death until all VIPs are eradicated. I won't say anything about religion. I'll just stop there. All VIPs are eradicated from this country. I hereby fast unto death. And on that happy note, let's start the show. Who's in? I'll pretend I don't know. You're all smiling because I'm fasting unto death. I don't think that's the right
Yeah,
sentiment. There's
like you will
solidarity.
you
No,
will start
I
fasting unto death now. So for at least an hour you'll be fine. After that, I don't give a shit. So it's like I'll see you
Meghnad,
next
A,
week
you don't know
anyway.
anything about camels, and B, the very fact that you didn't say, I will also fast unto death. I thought I'd get a bit of that. You're right. Where's that feeling that Inqilab Zindabad moment should have happened? You two or three of you all are saying nothing. Kajal?
the last guy who fasted unto death, his sidekick started a party and he got sidelined. So I think
And he, and
I
he,
think we
and
learned
he,
our lesson from there.
apparently he eats Chinese today. I mean, he's really doing well. Of course, ordering might be a little difficult because he doesn't have any. Is that a mean thing to say? Teeth, but I mean, it happens to all of
Yeah,
us when
well,
we.
it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. I was always thinking, how do you order if you don't use the online model, but you use the old-fashioned model, and you have a problem with well, if you don't have teeth, have you heard people without teeth talk? It's very difficult. It's a horrible. It's like it's just pads flapping. It's very hard.
Oh
We should have
God.
somebody like that on the show. Imagine if we had three panelists who are exactly like that. Kajal, it'll be a dream. You and three. That's all. That's all
No,
you
sorry.
hear.
So my dream is to have you on mute. Okay, if I just
Oh,
so I can
if you
finish a
just stopped
sentence.
after
Just,
on, it could have been so perverse. If you just said to have you on and then it went off the Wi-Fi and I'd have won many hearts. Man, no, on mute. Not the
Just
first one to say
proved
that,
your
Kajal.
point. No,
Not the
Kajol.
first one to say that.
it proved my point. Yes,
Yeah.
but Sai, I want to bring this up. We were discussing this earlier.
Yeah,
Um, where, and then I saw you and Puneet Panya on the same podcast. The
you were
energy was
jealous.
so calm. It was so. Yes, I was jealous, Cyrus. I was totally jealous of Puneet Panya. Not something I've ever
Yeah, but
thought
with
I would say
Puneet,
in public.
Puneet and Abbas have the same energy. Kajal, just understand one thing. You and me are a little hyper, okay? So we have that energy. So that happens on this show, it becomes louder immediately. That's not necessarily a good or
Yeah.
bad thing. I'm just
Oh.
saying the way it is.
So you
But
Also,
you
the
because
are
third
blaming
person.
her for this.
I'm just
No, I'm
suggesting
the
that
calmest
personality
person
wise, she's
ever,
akin to
Cyrus.
me. Abbas and Puneet have their own style, which lowers the tempo in their own way. Sometimes that jugalbandi of high and low
True.
together works even better. Sometimes maybe not. I don't know. I'm just saying. But, second
Mm.
point being, you're female, and I get excited when I see a woman. So I'm always like more in.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you why. Engineer, the first
Yeah.
Rishi I worked with, his name is Raphael. He grew up with Tiger Memon, by the way, in Mahim in the same block and knew all about him, etc. That's another story. But Raphael used to tell me that we did a show in '93 called the Polo Dial-In Show, where people would call in and you talk to them. Select was based on that apparently. And so when the boys or men called up, I would be like, Abbas, just call up and say hi or whatever.
Hey, Cyrus. Hi.
Yeah, okay.
I'd
What do you
like
want
to
to hear?
request "Don't Break My Heart" by Boys to
Okay.
Men.
Yeah, okay, whatever, man. Chalo. And
Cyrus,
and
I
then
worked
now
really hard to connect the line. Please show some
I don't care.
enthusiasm.
Okay, now as a segue here, let me tell you the other problem we used to have. Indians were new to the whole format, right? So our guys would spend the whole time saying hello, and let me explain exactly how it went. I'm not lying. Hello? Yeah, hi, welcome to Polo Dial Show, full of energy. Hello? Yeah. Hello. Welcome to Polo Dial. Uh, hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And the whole time it was the same lack of personality, lack of self-esteem, lack of belief. I was so. By the end, I'd lost my energy and I was just dead. It just killed me, drained me completely. But
So
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 I
you are
I,
saying
I
that
accept.
Puneet Panya and Abbas are like that. Hello? Hello?
No, I'm
Person?
saying that she's talking about the energy being a little more controlled. I think that she's saying that there's more
Yeah.
control and we are controlled. So I'm saying there's a reason for that also, which is to do with the fact that, the dynamics of the personalities, genders. I definitely like women on the show. It makes me happy. I wake up. Like, remember when you were in class and pretty girls came or girls came,
Just one second.
generally
I
when
have to, I have
engineering.
to mention. One second, I have to mention. In that podcast I saw, it was you, Puneet Panya, Abbas, and Nivedita, and you were not interrupting her. There you go.
But
There's the
Nivedita,
big
Because
but
curtain
I
Nave,
gone,
think
Cyrus.
I
but
think
Nave,
Cyrus
Nave is
was
Abbas. Nave,
disinterested in
Abbas,
that
and Puneet are the
episode.
same tribe. They're all low key. They're all low key octave sort of performers. Remember that. So I didn't look like an idiot. Do you understand? Because I'm jumping up and down. Everybody else is here. I just look like a fool. The overexcited guy at the birthday party. I want cake. I want cake. I'm that guy. So it doesn't work there. So I have to come down to their level. I'll give you another example. Ajay Devgan interview. Lovely guy. But when you talk to
Hmm.
him, and this, it blew my mind because I didn't speak to him before we started shooting the first time. And the first time, as usual, full of energy like Polo Dial in. Hey, guys, welcome, MTV, blah, 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 full on Kante, action star, yeah, whoa, falan, dikna. Ajay, Devgan, Ajay, tell us about the film. Yeah, it's a movie about, the
Bolo Zuba Kesari. And then Cyrus was like, no.
no, Abbas, I kid you not. Sorry? I went like, pardon. Actually, I went like that.
Uh,
What you do with an elderly person.
but
And Rasul Pokuti,
Ajay Devgan's wife is hyper, no? Kajol is quite like,
there you go. That's why they work.
I'm
bubbly.
very calm about. Sorry, Cyrus. Normally, I'm very calm.
No, you're very
I
calm,
don't
but
know.
you're what? How do we say this without sounding wrong? You're not loud because loud makes a woman sound unclassy. It's not like that. You're just you're
No,
powerful.
no,
You've
no,
got
no.
a
Go
powerful
ahead,
presence,
Cyrus.
and
Go ahead. Like the nuns in my school call me a fisherwoman. That's
I
what they
didn't
used to
call
call
Okay.
you.
us.
I've said only nice things.
You
That's a
How
stepped
very
on
dare
a
you push
nerve,
that
Cyrus.
specific.
confidence? This is
No,
not
no. So
right. All right,
in
please
Told
find
me
me
convent,
like the
people who
nuns
actually
in the school,
disrespect you
in
and
my
all that.
school.
Someone who
in
genuinely
Wow.
convent
likes you like me
schools,
should not be bullied. Trying to
in
bully me, that's
convent
the first
schools,
time ever.
when they wanted girls to behave themselves, they used to always be like, "Don't be fisherwomen." And
But
I
would they
have,
That,
I
that,
was
make
that,
you?
that's not, that doesn't even sound like an insult. I mean, a machi wali bola to fir that's an insult.
Yeah, hello,
But
that's a
like,
whole community. How dare you?
fisherwoman is
They're
like,
so unwoke.
yeah. I
How dare
mean,
you guys
uh,
talk like that?
okay, just give me
I come
one
from
second.
fisherman's stock.
oh,
Apparently.
okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm just putting it out there. Don't fight here. Leave it. Anyway, so where were
As
we? No, let
Abbas
me finish my
frozen.
story. So, Resul,
No, I'm
listen,
right here. I'm not frozen. I'm paying
Okay.
attention.
Abbas.
Yes,
Resul
I am the
Pokuti,
host
who
today.
used to work with us at
Aniket says Sairud was walking alone at one moment yesterday. What?
What,
Sairud
talking alone.
I
was
must.
Talking
talking
alone
alone
at
at one
She
moment.
walked out. I said, I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah,
woman. I
I
said, I'm
think Kajol
sorry.
Kajol has had enough of this shit. So she was like,
She's gone to Puneet's podcast. She's more comfortable there. She walked off.
No, no, I did. I'm so sorry. There's Ganpati going on in my building, and someone I put off the bell, so someone are knocking on my door. So I just had to. It was sorry, very
But
What,
what do
sorry.
you mean
prasad
going
ke
on
liye?
Huh.
Prasad
Oh, I
dene
what?
ke
thought
liye.
Did they give you
no,
the
no,
prasad?
donation.
No, no. So
Donation.
they tell us when the aarti is happening and all. I just had to go to the
Oh.
door. I'm so
But
sorry.
they go from door to announce when the aarti is
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, yeah.
That's very
Kajol, you
weird.
live in a very
Meghna,
staunchly
when you don't have a hobby, a
conservative
passion.
society because they hand out flags and they
India
tell
has
you
a
when
lot
the
of.
aarti is.
Okay, so I'll
No, I
tell you
think
something which happened during lockdown, but the possibility is that that the episode might get panned on Twitter, huh? Shall I
No,
go ahead
no,
anyway?
nobody will listen to this. Actually, I don't know. Yes,
No,
go
leave it,
ahead.
leave it, leave it, leave it. It's a sensitive topic,
Oh, but
but
Cyrus, I have to tell you this.
uh,
Kajol has been regularly getting panned on Twitter recently, huh? Matlab, she's become
oh
a
God,
controversial figure now. I've been
I
Arey
thought this
following
last
her
week,
She
not
always
to do
was.
with
pictures.
us on her own. She's doing this all on her
Yeah,
own. It's
yeah,
not to do with the
Yeah,
on her
yeah.
own.
on
podcast.
my
So,
own.
Yeah, on
yeah.
her own. She says things about, you know, certain animals and, like certain things. And then she
Oh,
Oh,
gets
by the
Okay,
way,
panned.
last week.
I
symbolic
got one
references.
hate tweet. I
Yes.
got one hate tweet because of Cyrus says. Apparently, last week when I was on, I mentioned that KGF 2 is a Tamil film, and somebody replied to it saying, "You idiot! KGF 2
Kannada, I corrected
is
you.
a Kannada film." And then he signed off by saying, "You should stop appearing on podcasts." So I so I
Listen,
did the most rational thing. I blocked that follower.
no, don't block, don't block. I'll tell you, this is a bit of our fault. It happens in our
Yeah.
TV show also with idiots like Kunal, who will not try and separate accents. Okay, when you're looking at South India, all the different accents. Firstly, there's not even just 4 or 5 accents. Each region has a different accent if you're good at that. but he's gone and mixed them all up together, and people just take offense because it's clearly become more Malayali, and what the Malayali is one area and Tamilian is another area, and you don't mix that up. It's just totally different.
No,
So
I
at least
totally
your
agree. My
identity.
bad. But why should I stop appearing on podcasts? You
No,
could have just
I
said,
forgive you.
please
I
correct
forgive
Listen,
you.
your mistake
listen.
and don't make it next time.
Hey, I get
Maybe I
hate
don't
from
have it as
Cyrus's
bad as
fans all
Kajol.
the time. Okay, I get hate. They DM, they DM'd me on Instagram and told me to get a life and get off the podcast.
Yeah, man. Kajol
Really?
has it bad. That's
Okay,
true.
when I told them to do that, I was just joking, guys.
Oh, yeah, Cyrus, sounds very familiar that your followers do all the bad things and you take none of the responsibilities, huh?
Bro, don't forget, I spent 11 years doing a show called Bakra. Okay,
That's true.
I'm the king of PR after that because once it's over, we have to apologize. And you realize because you really feel bad
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And all you do is apologize, whether they're angry or they've understood or whatever. So it teaches you a lot.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
true.
remain. The great thing is about mails now, we normally, if someone, after an apology, somebody doesn't accept it, you get bucked again and you want to fight and all that. It just goes out of control fast. But here we learn that you just keep saying sorry. And then, of course, for marriage, it prepared me properly also. So it just went on the same way. Head down,
Oh,
sorry. Sorry ka matlab hai sorry. You just keep saying sorry, sorry,
that
sorry,
is such
sorry,
a
sorry.
WhatsApp joke in the making, Cyrus.
Thank you, man. I'm catching up with technology. Aaj to WhatsApp, tomorrow email.
Aditya SK says he was offended by Abbas and not Silvery. Exactly. Apparently, when
No,
you tell where the
no.
things happen, people forgive you.
This is a joke on intelligence. So what
Yeah.
he's trying to say is that in Silvery's case, we don't expect him to actually know. They're still trying to figure out Liverpool in Punjab or whatever that goes on when he starts. Abbas should appear
But
Sunshine
more
Zero
on the
Seven
podcast.
says
Cyrus,
Abbas should appear more on the podcast. I agree. And before
yeah.
this,
She's back.
Grim
She's
Fandango
back.
saying Abbas is a Karnatakan for sure. I am. I
Yeah.
spent 5 years in Bangalore and I love the city.
Yeah,
So I
but you
do.
would know
Okay.
that the word Karnatakan is not to be used. But hey, it's too late for that.
I mean,
And
tomato,
and and
tomato. It's okay.
and Kajal was afraid to tell us her politically incorrect story. We really, I
Because
mean,
people
really,
came. Okay, so okay, my mom is a social worker and she's very outspoken. Okay, I'm
you're
actually the
antisocial. She's social.
so during the lockdown they had come asking for donation to build the Ram temple. Okay,
Oh,
seven
yes.
guys from my society,
Uh,
and
the Ram
when I
Temple in
opened
Borivali or the one in UP?
in Ayodhya.
Okay.
No,
So it
no,
could
he.
be apartments
Okay.
in Versova. I don't know, man. In India,
I mean,
come on.
Oshiwara
Welcome to
station has
Ayodhya.
been
Apartment A,
renamed
apartment B.
Ram Mandir.
Uh, uh.
I don't know whether I should continue this story because
Go
it's
on,
Then
just
go
why are you
on.
making a
gets.
big deal out of it? So they asked for a donation. You said no.
No,
I
wait,
always
no,
ask what
no,
are
no,
the
no, no,
tax
ऐसा नहीं था.
implications.
No. See,
Uh,
they came. They had a little idol with them. They all bowed. I'd opened the door and they gave me a pamphlet about the donation. I was very willing to take the pamphlet and shut the door, but my mother arrived and she's
she
like,
gave them a lecture.
no, she's like, बहुत अच्छा, हम भी राम के भक्त है. And they all did like this. And she's like, हम अल्लाह के भी भक्त है. And that's sort of the phrase.
They
And
bowed a little too
That's
soon.
okay.
They
So
should
she's
have waited
secular.
for
She has a secular feel.
she's
What is the
totally secular. So
so?
she's
What
like,
is wrong?
listen,
Why are you ashamed?
she's like, y'all build mandir, but y'all can't demolish masjids either. She said, I've been a social worker all my life and I am
They were
76.
not prepared for this. Those
Yeah,
four guys,
they were not
so out
prepared.
of work,
They're
youth
like
members
pamphlet
of
में
the
तो नहीं है ये.
bench. ये ऐसा जवाब कभी मिला नहीं life में. Either it's a yes or a no. But nobody had a philosophical
No.
debate on how you cannot break and build at the same time. It's a paradox.
So they were frozen there in that posture. And she's like, I'm 76. I will say what I want to say, and I don't give a, I'm not scared of anyone. And
Oh,
then
that's
one of them called for the lift, and for the first time I saw seven guys trying to stuff themselves into a 4-person lift. Okay, it was
This is the coming back to Hindu
because there
philosophy.
was there.
This is the power of Shakti. You have to understand. You can't, ultimately you have to bow to the power of Shakti. But again, I don't think you should be worried about this story because she's actually just talking about tolerance. It's not
Yeah.
really
yeah,
taking one
signs are
side or the
different.
other.
Cyrus,
So
last week I was called a buffalo by 1,000 people on Twitter.
a very
Just
beautiful
because
animal.
it's a very
Yeah.
beautiful. I have no
It
problem
really
with that.
is.
And in India, buffaloes are respected way more than women, so that's
Brother,
cool.
they're very powerful. They're very aggressive and macho. If you want to look at it from that point of view, I mean, and they're very family oriented. That's not you, Kajal. You're a woman and beautiful woman, and I should have thought it through.
I like swimming.
Like the guys who give the donation, I want to find the lift.
No, but my point is, these days you can't say anything because sentiments get offended, and then they start tagging the police. Okay, and that is
Oh,
always
yeah. Oh, dude, इतना irritating है ना. Like, so this one time, so I said some random tweet किया था मैंने. हाँ, मतलब किसी religion को या कुछ लेके भी नहीं था. And someone started tagging the Kolkata police. Okay, and I was like, Kolkata police क्यों? I mean, I was very curious, so I asked that person like कि Kolkata police को क्यों tag किया? So he's like, you're Bengali, no? So you're in Calcutta. I'm like, how does that? I'm not Bengali. B, I'm not in Calcutta. It's clearly written on my Twitter that I'm in Delhi. Like, they don't even check your location while tagging the police. At least तुमको like तुम अगर मीरठ के पुलिस को टैग करोगे या whatever तो थोड़ा
But what
close
would
तो
have
आ
been
जाए.
fun is if somewhere in Alipur there's a Meghnad Bhattacharya who they pick up. Huh? They somehow pick this guy up who's actually a right wing. I mean, he's absolutely on the other side. मैंने कुछ नहीं किया. I mean, that would have been such a beautiful comedy of errors. Damn it.
Did the police handle reply?
no, they tagged
No.
Mumbai and UP for Meghnad.
Okay.
No, I mean you go on. Yeah, they did respond. No.
For
No,
Meghnad is an
for me
Interpol
also didn't
notice, no?
respond. But well, it's still fresh, so I don't know.
Oh,
Okay,
recently sorry, I wanted to tell you
Yeah.
that recently the election commission officer responded to me on Twitter, and they did a whole story on this also. So I was getting calls, like I got one call actually from an officer कि तुम्हारा आधार और election card link कर दो. And I was like, what is this? Like, under what law are you saying this? Again, I don't think they expect such questions from people. So he was like, नहीं sir, ऊपर से order आया है, तो करना पड़ेगा. I didn't want to argue with him, so I'm like, हाँ कैसे करते हैं? तो he directed me to a website, एक form दिखा दिया. He's like, sir भर देना. And this is like, आपके spouse को भी बोल देना कि वो भी form भर दे link करने के लिए. So I cut the call and I tweeted about it. That this is happening, right? I didn't even make a statement कि ये होना नहीं चाहिए, होना
Twitter
चाहिए,
is a
whatever.
complaint bowl. हाँ मेरे को टिकट नहीं मिला.
नहीं.
It literally it is.
It
Yeah.
really
No,
is.
it was not.
Yeah.
But it was not a complaint. It was a statement of fact that this is what happened. And yeah, okay, so this is happening now. That was my tweet, okay? So it went viral. And then the CEO of Delhi basically responded to me. But since I don't follow them, I didn't get it. Then they DM'd me. So I gave them my number. Then they called me and said, ki, sorry, sir, ऐसा तो कोई law है नहीं. We will retrain our officers to not tell people to link this. So I was like, oh, so I
This is the
probably
Twitter version of
started a
calling for the
movement.
lift. And 7 people saying to them.
Yeah, but
No, but
most
remember-
responses when things go viral from Twitter have been very positive. But everybody's worried about the PR. It doesn't mean the end result is going to be great. It's just that
Yeah, that's
temporarily it's like when you're batting against fast bowling, you just keep the ball out for a little while. That's what they've done. And then it continues. It will continue to spiral. So be careful, Meghna. You're on their list, you're on the radar. It's a matter of time before the Hooghly police pick you up and you're dropped in the Howrah.
Hey,
Damn.
remember
Arpit
the time?
Bansal, 1 second, Kajal. Arpit Bansal has commented important question in the tweet. Did
Very
Meghnad
important.
mention partner or spouse while describing the situation?
Where? Answer the question, sir.
I think I didn't talk about that on my Twitter. I think I don't know. But I
Are you
used
actually
partner
answering
as
the
well.
question?
Yeah, I did.
Abbas,
I
what is
did.
wrong
I
with
mean,
these
I
people?
answered the question. It was a
He's
simple
being a smart
question,
aleck.
Cyrus.
Pay attention. Show respect to these guys. They work so hard to make us feel bad from time to time.
Sorry,
but
Kajal.
remember
you
But
were
I
saying- yeah.
also started thinking whether I use spouse or partner because right now I said spouse. And you didn't
Ah.
notice.
And we didn't pick
See?
it up.
Uh,
Kya
Yeah.
baat hai? Well done, beta. Well
See?
done. Right now,
Yes.
Saurabh also, both of them have correctly. Look at these guys are so sharp. We don't
Yeah.
have them
I
on the panel. We look like
Mm.
fools. Never have these guys on our panel. They'll expose us from the first minute. My God. they're
Yeah,
exposing.
I get criticized for calling a Kannada film Tamil and being told never to come on a podcast.
But that's
again.
because that's your expertise. If I make a cricket mistake or Meghnad makes a mistake when covering the state of affairs in the country,
Fair
like,
enough.
like foreign exchange rates and all,
Yeah.
then you got
Yeah.
to cop it. Then you got to cop it because that is your expertise. So then in a sense your ego is involved in that because you know you're good at that. So I totally
Okay,
Yeah.
accept if that happens.
we've gone 20 minutes without a topic. I'm gonna ask Kajol to for the third time to try and tell us something that she was saying. Remember the
No, no,
time?
no,
I
it's
want to ask
okay. It'll
Hemisha,
just derail
this
further.
picture of Hemisha is what? Like, what is she doing when the picture is being
Uh,
taken?
wow, Himisha
It,
is also not scolding. It's like topic chalu karna bas.
it's chiding. This it's making fun. They're always
So
just making fun.
before we start the
Oh, they've
topic,
raised the font for me to see. Excellent. Thank you. Ah.
in the process, completely hiding Meghnad's face. Do like the
It,
stream, subscribe to the channel. Please share this episode if you like it.
I'll
With
try.
that,
I'll try.
we will come to the first topic. So, Cyrus, there's a
One second.
LinkedIn
Why isn't
post.
Kajal that was the whole point. Our
What?
prelude was all about that. She's not the anchor. What
I'm
No,
no,
the
she's
I
not.
have resigned.
Yes.
I've resigned
You
from acting,
resigned?
Cyrus. No,
Yes.
no. Last time you didn't
She's
let
a
me get one
full-time
Unbelievable.
sentence
panelist
out.
now.
No,
Give me
and
one more
now
chance.
panelist. No,
God,
Cyrus.
this is like my first girlfriend. Give me one more chance. Give me one more chance. Give us all one more chance. That's not fair. Because,
No, but
like I was saying,
in all fairness, Kajol, I really like the mnemonics and the facts you brought to this
I
podcast. So
know.
please
Yeah,
keep
Even
it
I
up the
like
good
when
them.
times.
when
and
Kajol
the
is
questions were
hosting, it's
fun
always
about the
like
love thingy and
super
all.
demotion day
Yeah.
and paraplegic sexual day or some shit like that. I look forward to it. I'm like, what is it gonna be
Yeah.
this week?
It's a
Yeah.
different spin on
Okay.
everything. What the hell, yeah?
So then one more time, Cyrus, but not with Sriram. Cyrus and Sriram can't be together in the same podcast. Sriram needs to
Hey,
move
Actually,
into
you
the
already
that's
made
the
comments
twist.
about the
Puneet
Ram
Panya
Mandir.
zone.
You're saying Cyrus and
Wait,
Sriram
wait.
can't be together.
They
What are you
can't be
saying?
together.
Fresh
Don't
Pink Magnolia says
don't
Kajol is
mention
the best
Sriram.
panelist on Cyrus says. She's
Thank
always
you.
interesting and unapologetic. As a woman, I'm a big fan of hers. This is what Fresh Pink Magnolia says. She's a role
Thank you,
model.
Fresh Pink. Right.
And she may have been a man up to a point,
Might
which is
be,
allowed.
but I
Which is
don't think
allowed,
any
right?
Okay.
man will choose the username Fresh Pink Magnolia. That's a
Why
Can
very
you have
wouldn't
these?
they?
it's a
What
Now
is
she
delicious.
sees
this?
flirting. She was a man. Kajal,
No,
your eyes
women
look very
don't.
pretty today.
Women tell women
I
these
use
things,
this line on
Cyrus.
women all the time,
Huh.
and I can't see their eyes.
Which line?
Why can't you see their
Your
eyes?
eyes look
Where are
very
you
pretty.
looking? No, but where are you
I do it
looking? Why?
with elderly
Huh.
ladies. In the MILF category, I go with this line. Of course, now I'm above the MILF category, so they're younger than me, so that's a different story. But so the MILF comes, their child says, "Beta," I mean, they call uncle to
She's a woman
have a
from
conversation.
Munich, is what she says.
Hi, Munich, sprechen Sie Deutsch? I hope that was good enough.
And now
Verstehen
she'll
Sie
reply
Deutsch?
in
Yeah,
German.
Yeah?
it's just one word, jawohl.
Yeah.
I mean, really, don't expect a print here. Uh, anyway,
Okay,
why are we taking it
Abbas
from Kajal?
topic.
A
No,
LinkedIn
but
post
wait,
went
Kajal's
viral
moment,
this week.
she
No,
just said
we'll
how
come back
beautiful.
to her moment. I have to do at least two topics before we go into the first break.
Wait,
Well
wait,
done,
more
Abbas.
interesting. Kajal's
Well
eyes are
done.
far more interesting. Kajal,
Cyrus,
what
very
color?
fun topic,
What color?
Cyrus. Very
What
fun
color are your eyes?
topic, Cyrus.
Last.
My eyes are dark brown, but I wear green
Green.
lenses.
Oh, you
Oh,
wear
you wear
green lenses.
lenses. Fuck, I did not know this. I've
Oh,
known
I thought you
Kajal
had
for like
colored eyes. With, oh,
4
okay.
years now.
No. So
Yeah,
my
even I
Cheater.
thought that.
number is
Cheater.
-8. My number is -8. Shut up.
Cheater.
I need to wear lenses anyway,
What?
Baba. I can't see. So my number, my eyes are
I'm just saying what
-8.
Abbas is
Also,
thinking. So
someone
please
pointed
attack
out
the right
that
person.
Kajol is the only panelist who gets away by saying "shut up" to Cyrus. No other panelist. Cyrus doesn't forgive any other panelist.
Oh, mean. My God, am I a fascist guy?
I
Yes.
think a
I
little.
think the nicest.
A
The
little.
only good thing I
You
take to
know,
my grave is that I've been egalitarian with everyone wherever I go and work with. It's
no,
all
but there is
informal
a
and people say what they want and it's all good.
there
Yeah.
is a difference between a classical fascist and you. I mean, you are also like a fascist in
कपड़ा भी एक
your
चीज
way.
है.
No, because when they talk, when they're on stage and they talk, nobody interrupts them, right? But यहाँ पे
For fear of
you
death.
interrupt people by talking more. So essentially, you're also
I'm a reverse
doing the
fascist.
same
Okay,
thing.
got it.
Yeah, you're a
The
reverse
reverse
fascist.
fascist. Yeah.
Yeah,
The दूसरा.
yeah.
Got it, sir.
Also,
Got it.
sometimes they say things like "क्या तकलीफ है इन सज्जन को?"
हाँ.
So
Of
then,
course. It's a pet
or
shirt.
it's
Safed
it's
shirt.
a shirt. Anyway,
Safed shirt they can't because if it's a Congress rally, for example, who do you throw out? I mean, come on.
I
Hey,
mean,
speaking of
yeah,
Safed
no, but they
shirt,
wear black now. Yeah.
speaking of Safed
Why?
shirt, I
Because
went to
Ghulam
see.
Nabi Azad left.
Wait,
Poor guy.
no. I went to see
Huh.
Top Gun over the weekend. Okay.
Oh.
Same.
You also in Inox?
Yeah. Separately, Kajal.
But in Delhi.
Kajal,
Totally
you're
separate.
making it a
I went-
romance.
Yeah.
He's in Delhi in Inox. You're in Mumbai in Inox. Separate time, separate day, separate partner. Huh.
Yeah.
So I for the firstly I love the movie. Okay, it's really nice. But Tom Cruise is repairing his aircraft
Plane.
wearing a
Yeah.
white shirt. How do you do that? How do you do that?
I mean, mechanics can own white shirts, Kajol.
But
It's fine.
who's going to wash it?
Well,
I
maybe
think
he's a
they
fan
do
of
care.
Jitendra.
Somebody's going to wash that shirt. How can you do mechanic work with a white shirt?
Really?
No, I
Maybe
don't
it's
get that.
maybe
Critical are you?
it's
Honestly,
an
the
armed
guy
forces
spent
thing.
$80 million on that plane. And all you get out of it is the white shirt. Really? That's
No, but
just like a woman. Typical.
it might be an armed forces thing that the mechanics in the armed forces have to wear that
No, I
uniform
doubt it.
while
He's scarred by India. Leave him alone. He's always going to come back to
Tom
military
Cruise.
issues. No.
I mean, he plays a military man in the
Cruise.
movie, so yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, one,
he's like Salman. He just plays Tom Cruise. Let's be honest. Now it's been going on
that's
now for
true.
some
But
time.
it works for
That's
him.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine. I also watch the movies. He's 73 years old, but you know what the hell, we buy it.
he's 64, I think.
What, Tom
Our
Cruise is
politicians
politicians
walk
work
64?
in
like
flooded areas. Yeah,
59. He's
or is
59.
he 60? I
Looks
think
he
61.
looks
59,
as young
59.
as he did in the first movie. Okay,
Yeah,
he's done a really good job. Whatever he's done.
Yeah. They made him look very young.
Yeah.
That much is clear. And they have
Why,
done a
Meghnad?
scene by
They
scene
were like jealousy क्यों है? तू जल गया. I don't like it, yaar. Why from the childhood you hate this kind of good-looking guy, who walks into the room and all the women look at him and all. You're waiting 40 years to make this comment.
Cyrus,
Unbelievable.
can I give you a perfect troll line for such situations for future use? You should
Yeah.
go Bernal laga le.
Oh God,
Always.
yeah.
Never say jal gaya is so passe. It's
Yeah.
like now Bernal laga le. because
Bernal.
it's step 2. Yeah.
He's telling
Bernal.
someone who's his dad and I studied together. Now he's calling me passe. Do you understand?
Hey, but Inox
Topic?
has a new contest. Okay, they finally
Oh.
realized how expensive their popcorn is. If you buy a big tub of popcorn and 2 drinks, you get a free trip to Europe.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, just
Is
No,
think
it-
I
is
about
it
mean,
a
it.
it's a
lucky draw?
raffle, right?
Huh? It's a raffle, yeah, but come on. I
Uh-huh.
mean, just think about it. It's that
But
I don't
they
mind
might
not-
not sign anyone, no?
because
That's what
they
I'm
know
saying.
because they know if you can buy their popcorn, you can spend in euros. So
That's
they're
also
like,
true.
okay, then go. There you go.
I have a bigger problem with places like Inox. It's that security check that they do, where they manhandle you. I always ask them the same question, sir. Kitna bomb mila abhi tak? I mean, he's been doing it for like. Give me the list of what have you really got? And unfortunately, not once have I got a good answer. Like
No,
36
Varun
bomb,
Grover,
5 machine gun, 3
Varun
atangwadi.
Grover has a bit on this, right? When
Yeah.
when they were checking his bag, Varun Grover said, "के धीरे दबाओ थोड़ा फट जाएगा." So,
It's
so
really
yeah.
tempting. I know my wife was like, why do you make fun and all that? No, but it's an irritating thing.
And
Both of us, they know, this is a waste of time, all this tokenism stuff
yeah,
that we
that's
do.
true. Yeah.
The Labrador
And
outside the
Cyrus?
5-star hotel, smelling the car, then you pat him, he wants to jump in. I mean, what are we doing here? It's just a joke. Yeah, really. Sorry, what are you saying, Meghnad?
No, I got a WhatsApp forward which you would enjoy. Can I read it out for you?
Yes, please, give me a kiss.
Yeah.
Not you, my daughter.
Okay. It says one simple suggestion, right? Instead of giving roads names of leaders and celebrities, if we give names of contractors who build it with their address and
What
phone numbers,
great
I think
idea.
quality
Oh.
of roads will improve.
Give me his name for Padma Vibhushan. I am putting it up right now. I am not going lower than Vibhushan. I will put this out in the national headlines tomorrow. This is a great human being. He's
Yeah.
absolutely right. What's
WhatsApp
happening today?
forward था किसी ने तो भी ये सोचा है पता नहीं
हाँ.
किसने सोचा है but
So
सोचा है
today,
किसी ने.
WhatsApp forward is like anonymous was in the old days. For fear of reprisal, it's best to send the forward directly.
इसको
From the
क्या
original
reprisal
creator.
मिलेगा? What reprisal will you get for something like this?
But he's obviously from our tribe, so there's a critical eye here. So critical eye can be on civic issues, then it becomes social issues, which are more than just civic issues, and then it goes on political issues, which include religious, economic issues, and then it becomes disaster, like in the case of Kajal's mom, who very sweetly tried to educate some people on peace and love. But of course, these concepts are not always every 200 years they are avoided. I think in countries around the world. So
Yeah,
you
but
know,
no, Kajal, I was thinking.
it's amazing
so
that you
when said-
apologize for trying to bring harmony.
Yeah,
Nobody gets that. Very often you're just trying to say the things to bring people together and achieve peace, mercy, compassion, happiness.
These days, if
And
you talk
instead,
about
you're
peace,
worried.
if these I'm technically Hindu, okay? So these days, if I say
What
something
does that
about
mean in this day and age?
it means I was born a Hindu, okay? I'm not a religious person. But if I say something on Twitter, there is a bunch of people calling me an Islamist, telling me to go back to my
Yes.
madrasa, or they're
Yes.
calling me a rice bag. And they think it hurts me.
A
It
rice
doesn't.
bag.
A
rice bag is a
it's a
bag is a
casteist
term.
insult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Is that?
casteist insult. Yeah.
Oh, so
Right.
what
So
does it mean?
essentially, there is this one story which is doing the rounds in the circles, or WhatsApp circles, that in the olden days, Christian missionaries used to come to poor Indians and give them rice in exchange for converting their religion.
Oh,
So basically, now it's become an insult where people like Kajol, poor thing, are called rice bags because
what if?
Because I
logic.
What
speak
if?
English. Because I speak
What if?
English.
Kajal, but what if for converting to either Islam or Hinduism, I want the forbidden meat? That's my deal. Would I be given that? I'll be like, I'll
No.
take this
If you
religion,
go
but
to
give me the
if you go to
forbidden meat.
certain states,
Let's don't
yes.
name them. Abbas, let's don't name them. Let's not get into that. Let's just
If you
ask
go
me.
to certain states, you don't even need to convert your religion. You'll get it
Yeah.
whatever religion you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of forbidden meat,
Huh.
Abbas, I shared that topic on the list also.
What?
So there is a video.
Okay.
There is a video from Uttar Pradesh, right, Prayagraj, se,
It's
where
always from
these
Uttar Pradesh. Huh.
where these 7, 8 men are sitting on a boat and they're chilling. They're having a hookah and
And the boat is on land.
Oh,
tandoori chicken.
yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
Huh.
on a boat. And there's roasting tandoori chicken. Must enjoy kar rahe hai. Like he does like a pan shot and like everybody's like, hey, very nice. And so someone filed a complaint against them. A reporter has asked, like there's a video of this reporter asking a police, ये देखिए कैसा शर्मनाक वीडियो आया है, चिकन और हुक्का टाइप चीज कुछ कर रहे हैं, तो इस पे कोई कार्रवाई करेंगे क्या? तो पुलिस इज लाइक, yeah, we are working to identify these guys. I'm like, wait, what is happening? What crime is it to like
Okay,
sit on a
I'll
boat
just
and...
But you
pitch in
listen,
here.
one man's meat is another man's poison. Come on,
But
guys, on
it's
the internet.
chicken.
No.
No,
Watch,
but a
I'll just
picture
pitch in
you
here.
like, somebody just finds distasteful. My wife used to show me pictures of these babies and things. I couldn't sleep at night. I found them horrible to look at. I've always found babies'
Babies.
heads are too large, human babies.
Okay.
But she would
Okay.
show me these pictures and think how sweet, how
This
cute.
has
We should
taken
have
a
had one
weird
more.
turn.
No, but I'm just saying.
Unexpected turn.
I'm just saying that I know. I'm just saying that you see it in one way. One man's meat, another man's poison. You see it in one way. I see it in one way. It's perspective. It's Rashomon. It's all that.
Okay, but just a
Oh,
pitch in.
intellectually
I've been
put
on a
at me.
Yeah.
I've been on a trek
Good.
through Haridwar, Rishikesh, and above.
Huh.
You are not allowed to eat meat while you're in the confines of Rishikesh. One of them in either Haridwar or
Rishikesh,
Rishikesh.
yes. Rishikesh
Huh.
is...
There
yeah.
is no non-veg. You cannot.
Should
Yeah.
I share
Because
the screen for the video? Yes. Let's have a look at the video.
Okay, and see if it offends us or not. And be honest. If it offends you, you must say so.
Yeah.
I'm already offended and I haven't seen it.
Can you see it?
So describe it for the audio
I-
listeners. Guy is just sitting there and eating tandoori
Not
chicken.
guys.
And
Some of the best
guy,
looking
one guy.
men. Some of the best looking man India has ever produced. I mean, he's an Adonis, a god, beautifully dressed. And the question that boggles my mind is, why do Indians wear jeans? Why do they think they should
Yeah,
wear
it just
jeans
looks
everywhere?
like some
Get out of the freaking
Prayagraj
jeans.
dudes just chilling,
Yeah.
like a
On a
selfie
boat.
video, and people are waving. We can see a lot of boats, and there's some hookah and meat happening. That's
Yeah.
precisely
That
what
looks
the video
delicious
is.
also. Like the
Yeah,
tandoori chicken
they're
looks
doing a
very good.
barbecue on a boat.
Yeah,
I think
barbecue
it's
on
more
a
like
boat.
it's a Garibo Ka Seinfeld episode or something. There are 3-4 guys hanging out and there's nothing really happening.
Who's the
The lighting
George
is
there,
poor.
Cyrus? There's no Elaine in the picture, clearly.
But
No,
it's
but I
UP,
remember.
so they have to change the characters slightly. You can't have a woman, yaar.
Okay,
but I
we have to
remember
take a
that
break.
meat is not allowed.
Wait,
Huh,
let
okay.
Kajal speak,
We
guys.
have,
You chauvinist bastard.
No,
Let
we
Kajal
have some
complete,
an
then we will
entire
take a break.
Every time
we
she opens her mouth, one of us
we
is jumping on her.
listed like 9 topics. I had 3, Meghnad
Let her
had
finish.
3,
Come
and
on, let her
Kajol
finish her
had
point.
3, and we've
Because
done
she'll forget.
exactly 0 so far.
Kajal will
Or
forget
1
what she's
rather,
trying to
the
say.
boat one.
I
Yeah.
have to protect her
I've
now.
already
Go ahead,
forgotten. No,
Kajol.
it's okay. It's
No,
okay. Cyrus,
then you'll make us
remember
look
this
like
when I'm
monsters.
hosting.
And
No,
people will
No,
start
no,
saying
no,
bad
no, no.
things.
You don't
Don't
get
put
away
it
with
on
this.
us, Cyrus. She has a problem
Look,
with
we
one
worked it out beautifully.
panelist on this show.
We finish this and they all attack Kajal. Okay, we don't want to change that. So for God's sake, let her speak.
No.
Okay.
Kajol, I
Let
think,
me speak when I'm hosting. Bolo Abbas.
Yeah.
No, to maintain balance, I think you should announce the break so that.
All right.
Oh,
So, guys, we're going into a
tokenism.
break. Here we're going into a break.
What a favor.
Do come
Really
back.
nice of you, Abbas. Doing
Do
your bit
come
for
back.
womankind. You always think.
Hello. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Nankari, Sadaf and Archit talked to Shweta Sivkumar about the science behind making a delicious pickle. On The Habit Coach, Ashton shares how to handle an intermittent fasting habit. On This Round is on Me, Gauri is joined by Dr. Marcus Rani, founder and CEO of Human Edge Enterprises. They explain what is biohacking and what are the 5 pillars that make biohacking. On Don Baika Gappa Aika, Avanti and Aparna discuss how the food culture around us has changed and the role food apps play in it. And on Postcards from Nowhere, Utsav takes us on a journey to the untraveled parts of Ireland. Hey everybody, as you know, we've been beating the horse for merchandise, and you should go and get it now before we refresh our collections. And what's there right now won't be available forever, so go get it now. You can go to ivmpodcast.com, go click on the store link, and you'll be able to find the store, or go to beyondfollow.com/IVM, and you can go directly over there and pick up the merchandise. Also, remember, if you're following this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Social media helps, but not as much of word of mouth. But if you're a social media fellow, then go to our IVM podcast handle on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn and follow us there. Also, please do remember to check out all of our different YouTube channels. We have a ton of them now. You can go to ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, where we maintain a list of all of these channels. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors for this week: TransUnion Civil, Boat Lifestyle, Checkpoint Software, Small Case, and Intel vPro. Thank you so much for making this possible.
I don't know. Amit said he was beating the horse.
To buy merchandise, yes.
Is it more like flogging the horse in a slightly different context?
May I
I was
suggest
also thinking.
It sounds like
beating
animal
the
cruelty
buffalo?
when I heard it. Beating the
Beating the
buffalo.
buffalo.
Okay. All right. Again, buffalo being a beautiful term, if anyone ever calls you or anybody else that, and in India, it's almost a holy animal. First cousin
Auntie.
of the holy cow. The holy cow is
Cyrus,
literally the holy cow.
there's something on your right shoulder which wasn't there when we went
Yeah,
into
yeah.
a
So
break.
I've embraced tech now. So I have this pink earring because I just want to do something for the LGBT movement also. I feel I have not done enough. And
And how is this
people,
Oh,
helping?
is that your way to contribute?
I thought it's a step. Maybe the only step. Maybe they'll call and say no more steps. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
But you've
Kajal
actually
is
clipped
confused.
your ear. You've clipped your
Yeah.
I
ear.
clipped my ear, but look at Kajal's expression. She's on the. Should I attack him because he's making light, or should I let this go?
Kajol,
No, we're
please,
genuinely
go
trying to
right
I
ahead
figure
need
and
out.
Shreyas.
attack.
I need Shreyas's classical Carnatic vocals now. Where is he?
Yeah, Shreyas hasn't been on for quite a while, but it's okay.
Yeah,
He's doing other
Oh,
things.
Shreyas is living with me right now. He's here in Delhi.
Oh,
in Delhi.
Yeah.
Wow. Again,
oh
he's
yeah,
pretending to be
actually,
Garib. He forgets about the fact that he owns these restaurants from Canada to Kanyakumari, and he takes off to his cousin and with a bowl and says, "Mere ko khana
No,
de do."
he came for a shoot that we were doing here for a podcast, which will be out soon. So yeah,
yes.
Which we are all very jealous
So it's
about.
all expenses
Yeah.
paid to Delhi.
yeah. Delhi IVM paid for
And
his ticket
beyond.
to fly here.
Now let's discuss nepotism, Abbas ji. आ गया cousin, बड़े भैया आ गया पोजीशन पे 2 मिनट के बाद तुरंत फौरन जल्दी 1 second की बात है. The cousin has now been cast in everything. The cousin is now flying first class to Delhi. The cousin is now the main host of 12 podcasts.
First
Abbas, I
class.
want you to remember this. And they're
Cyrus, you're
both
telling
Hindus.
me I
They're both
am not
Hindus. And they're both
I'm not
Maharashtrian Hindus. What's
I am
going
not
on
a
with the
product
country?
of nepotism, but whenever someone comes to the IVM office, they look at Amit, then they look at me, they're like, "हाँ ये तो related ही होंगे." I'm like, "No, we are not."
You are. You both are the only two liberals in the office. Have you met the
That's
others?
true. Yes, that's true.
Uh,
Cyrus, can I do one topic that I want to discuss, and then we'll
Yes.
let Kajol do one, and then
don't
we'll
make
let
me sound like
Meghna
I'm a
do one.
monster. Like I stopped
Yes.
anyone.
So
I
Shantanu
want to sit down and do.
Deshpande,
Someone should do the matrix of how many people talk for how many minutes in this entire show.
the
It's not.
founder of
Uh,
Bombay Shaving Company, he wrote a LinkedIn post which went viral,
oh,
where he
okay.
said that in the early days of your career, if you're a 22-year-old who's just taken up his first or second job, you should
Sparsh, listen. Sparsh,
yeah,
listen. Huh.
Sparsh, this is for you. He actually does this. What he says you should put in 18-hour work days. You should not strive for work-life balance. You should
और
not.
ये figure कहाँ से आता है? This is
This is
typical.
what
It's
he
like
has
COVID.
quoted.
I'll say
He
He says
99% of vaccine.
nowadays he sees a lot of young people watching random content on their devices. They should not do that. They
So
should completely
Listen, our
dive.
show is random content. Don't say
They
this.
should really, yeah, which is why we want
We need
people to see
people to
it.
look at random content. I mean, random.
So he got a
some
lot of flack
employee
for
in
this.
Bombay, some employee in Bombay Shaving Company was watching Cyrus while his CEO was standing पीछे, and he's like, "ये आजकल के बच्चे." I have to rant about this, and he goes on LinkedIn.
And Meghna,
then this
Kajal was on
happens.
that show. Kajal was on that show. And on
Kajal-
principle
I
that
was
she
on
didn't
the
get to talk enough, they've done this.
No,
So there's a
but
very
this is what
feminist
happened.
twist to this. Yeah. Huh.
There's no
So
feminist.
there is.
I like the way. I like the way
yeah,
they
go
were
ahead.
trolled, but somebody called them Bombay Slaving Company.
Yeah.
So when he faced slack for this, he said 18-hour day, like you mentioned. He said it was a figure of speech. What he meant was you should concentrate more on
Long
your
hours.
work rather than. He said if you're young, your work-life balance is not required as of now. Once you get a little older, you can strive for it. But what I was trying to get at is LinkedIn is like a treasure trove of these kind of like
Oh yeah, yeah.
sort of declarations
It
by
is
some
now
really
Quora.
senior people. Yeah, where
It
they
is
make
Everybody
this
basically
sort of.
becomes Stephen
Quora.
Jobs. My worry is you become Stephen Jobs with a very limited sense of success. That's a bit dangerous. You're
But
23, you made $300, and then you start sprouting. This is
I don't
dangerous
know. I don't
also.
know if this is a genuine Steve Jobs quote or is it a Bill Gates quote that I find the
Hmm.
laziest person to do the job because he will do it the quickest. Because
Yeah,
he wants to
shortcuts,
put in
dude.
the
Eh?
least number of
Of
least
course.
amount
I'm
of
a
time.
fan. I'm an absolute
Yeah.
fan.
No,
I
but
really believe that
like that's
No,
my
low
I
value
don't
work.
no,
agree. I don't agree.
no,
Lazy
but
guys
that's my
won't do the
theory
job.
Rishi,
about.
remove her from the chat. Firstly, she won't build the Ram Mandir. I won't allow it on this show. You build the Ram Mandir or you
So
leave.
she took the
And call your
pamphlet.
mother. Call your mother. Ah.
No, but
But
that's my
Cyrus,
theory about
yeah.
Indians in general, that we are
Hmm,
very lazy, and then
hmm,
हमने ये term बना दिया जुगाड़ innovation to
hmm.
just basically make our
So
laziness
that's not.
sound good.
No, so here's the point. The correlation immediately is innovation and creation come to save you from the physical sort of abuse of yourself that you don't want to do, more than mental. It's more physical
Hmm.
abuse that causes this when you think of the way we think. Now, let me show you the difference. You are a Delhiite now, whether whatever your antecedents are, and Silvery is a Mumbaiker, whatever his antecedents are. And there's a difference in the Mumbaiker and the Delhiite. You want to work very hard, you want to do everything, and Silvery, well, we see him when we see him.
No, but Silvery does not represent all Mumbaiites. Mumbaiites work their asses off. They're always working.
That is, I mean, even in like
Only in Borivali.
wavelength water, they'll wade through the waters to get to office on time and stuff like that, right?
There are
Which is
two types
something
of
now
us.
that people in Delhi and Bangalore are
Listen,
also facing
no,
because
no,
of
I was
climate
talking
change.
rubbish as usual. I have to say that
No,
two
but
types: those who want to get the job done and those who don't. That's all there is to it.
okay, so
And
I
I
was
think
one of these people who worked 18 hours a day. Okay, I've done it for a
why
long
you're
time.
a comedian.
No,
It's not even a
I was.
job.
I've got a graphic design company, so I worked for corporates, and
You
I used to put
bastard!
in.
Excuse the French. You've got a graphic company and you're still a comedian. Comedians are
Yeah,
for
well, someone has
that's
to
for desperate
finance my
people.
comedy,
Cyrus
right?
full-time comedy does jack shit for you in India.
Exactly, it
But then
Yeah.
does
I don't
nothing.
have to feel bad for you. You've got a thriving career as
I've
a
got a
graphic
thriving
artist.
career. So my
Why
point
do
is
you
this.
feel bad for
I'm a
her?
podcast producer. It's not a thriving career.
Uh,
No,
But
my
go
point
ahead,
is
so
this.
tell
Kajal.
us the story. 18 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've worked 18 hours, and there's a massive corporate account I work for. I've given them years of working nights, delivering projects. During lockdown, my mom, she's a Parkinson patient. She fell and she fractured her shoulder and her arm, and that was the early days of COVID when my neighbor had died of COVID, and they were, how they should just lock the entire building down, and
Hmm.
all these guys in white
Yeah,
suits
yeah, yeah,
outside.
yeah.
Banners.
So
Yeah.
yeah, they told
Yeah.
us not to get out of the house. I had no food. My mother was just nursing a fracture, and there was this project on. So all I did was message them and say, I'm going to be a few hours delayed in submitting it because this is the reason. My mother has a fracture and my neighbors died of COVID, and I cannot get out of the house. So the answer was, so shall we say 2 more hours then? And I was
Oh
like, fuck it,
wow.
because
But you're
you
asking for
put in
empathy.
so.
It sounds to the other person sometimes they're making excuses. So if they don't believe in the
But
where's the
the thing
empathy?
is, you
Like I
work so
always
many
believe people are
years. You
lying when
work,
they make excuses.
yeah, but that's if you don't know the person.
But
If you
Cyrus,
work
it's a
for so
global
many years with
pandemic.
someone,
It's a
I don't know, but
lockdown. It's a pandemic. Everybody's suffering.
that's true. That's
Everybody
true.
won't be making an excuse, right?
But no, but they take
if you've
advantage.
worked with
The
me for
majburi,
10
majburi is taken
years,
advantage of very
Yeah.
easily,
if
right?
you've
There's some,
worked
and
with
then
me
you
for
take
10
advantage.
years, if you've worked with me for 10 years and you know that I don't like just make excuses. So that's when I realized that you can put in all the work that you want, but at the end of it, it doesn't add up to anything. You don't get any leeway whatsoever for
No,
being
you
You don't
good.
even
don't.
get a gold
I
watch because you don't
agree.
actually work for them. So at 60, you can't even apply for the gold watch, which traditionally you would get. So
Yeah.
sad, really.
Did
No,
Yeah.
that
but
did that push you
Kajol,
to fire them as clients,
I fired
Kajal?
that particular person as a client. I
And
lost
it
it on
was
a
your main
voice note.
client. It was your main client.
I've worked with multiple people there, but
How much
that
money did we
particular
lose on
department,
this? Percentage wise, what would it have been? Like 20% of your business?
I lost about 30K on that job. I don't know how much work I would have got from them otherwise,
30K,
but
Kajal. For you, what is 30K? You
sorry,
make
what?
one you make one controversial tweet and you get about 60 lakhs straight away from
yeah,
letters
yeah.
Tweets,
from
yes.
lovers of
60
society.
lakh tweets, maybe.
No,
Shut up, Cyrus.
what Kajol said actually is true, because in my like early 20s also I worked like crazy. I mean, 18 hours a day, sure. Like 18 hours sounds a lot though. But
It's also your job position and description now, bro. You're at the bottom of the
of
ladder. What do
course,
you expect? When you're at the bottom of the
of
ladder, they kick
course.
you around, make you do the gopher work or the
No,
apprentice
but
work,
that's the
all that.
thing,
Yeah.
right?
No, but
Cyrus, when you
I
say what
worked.
do you expect, why not expect more? Just
No,
because you're at the bottom of the ladder doesn't mean you deserve to be
No,
pushed
but that's the way
around.
of the world, bro. In the
but the
capitalist
people at
No,
the
society,
but
if
top,
it
you,
shouldn't
people at
be.
the top also work.
that's
People
another
at the
point.
top also work.
Nandish, yeah.
When I was working with Filmfare, I was doing a project for them. The
Boo,
vice
name drop.
presidents and the high
Boom.
people, the vice presidents and all, whatever, the people at the top of the rung were still available to take calls at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh,
That's
and
how
they'd
they
call you
work.
over, na, if you're female.
No, Baba. And most of the women,
Oh,
they're mostly women who work there.
So here's the line
they
that
call me
got me.
over.
Okay, Cyrus, in that LinkedIn post, he signs off by saying, "Don't do random rona dhona. Take it on the chin and be relentless. You will be way better for it." So this is another thing that if you bring these things up, it's called rona dhona. That you're whining, that you're complaining for small things because this generation has a thin
Okay,
skin.
Abbas, you want to be really open about this? We had this
Yeah,
conversation, you and me. Literally,
yeah,
because you were
Yes.
struggling with the show in the morning because you're working nights, you're writing nights, you're performing nights, you're looking for work at night. You have to go and network at night, so you were
yeah.
screwed. And then you had this
Yes, which is why they
gentleman who
put
calls
me
you at 9 in
on
the
the
morning,
Thursday 6 p.m.
and
slot.
yeah, exactly. So, and I remember you, me, and then Amit and I discussed. I said, "What's the problem? You're young, just sleep less, just be a little, just
I'm
chest
not
out and
young
keep going."
anymore, Cyrus. I'm
No, what you
34.
so, but now you are doing that because you came back here. So now you got to
Yeah.
bite the bullet, literally. Yeah, which started the
But
difficulty. Yeah,
Cyrus, you
totally
also
agree.
worked like 18 hours a day in your
I have
young
never
age.
worked in my life. I must tell you, Meghnad. I'm against the concept. I feel it's a waste of everybody's time,
But I
including
don't
mine.
think Cyrus sleeps.
Yeah,
I
but I'm
can't
not much of a
imagine you
He
sleeper,
goes to
sleeping.
so
sleep
that's
at
never a
8
Yeah.
problem.
o'clock, no?
But I sleep badly. I should have been a watchman. I really feel sometimes if we do go to war, I should be at the front. Not because I'm a coward, but I will hear the people coming, and I will be able to warn you.
Oh, you're one
Yeah.
of those
So you have to
people.
give me a instrument which I mean now they'll have like electronic gadgets, but that I press this one button and the whole camp knows that we are being attacked. Of course, it may be a crow because I'm really a light sleeper. But you know what? It's a crow. We're all ready for action. Then we go back to sleep and they're angry with me, but the world is safe. So that's important. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
How do
what
we
time do you
digress
get
to
Okay.
up?
my greatness?
Like
How dare you?
4:30.
Kajal, are you inviting me? What is this?
I'm not
There's only one
inviting
way
you,
to find
Cyrus.
out, young lady.
You know when The Rock wakes
Mummy
up
se
at
pucho.
3:30 and posts his videos from the gym, Cyrus is the only one watching them because he's also awake at that time. uh, okay, moving
So
on.
can I tell
So
you that
yeah.
between the two pandemics, I have a neighbor who's actually a very successful young man, young in his early 30s. And there was one day on a Saturday morning where I was going out at 4:45 with the dogs and he was coming in after drinking night with the boys. I was thinking how my world has changed. And we actually chatted for 5-10 minutes down. And it was actually me starting, and him like just about standing straight and having a cigarette and end of the day night thing. It was quite funny, right? Really, when I think about it. Meghna, what time
And
do you
your
wake up?
I wake up at 5:30,
think you,
5:30
you're
there
के
you
बीच
go.
में, yeah.
Why?
I go. I
Patanjali
mean, I'm
products
a
have to be
early
applied
waker.
by his
I mean,
partner.
I'm
Oh.
so when I started doing my 18 hours work back in the day, when my MP used to pajao me everywhere, I was living in Sikkim. So my
When my
work day
MP used
used
to
to
bajao
start
me
at
is
7 in the
politically
morning.
incorrect. Literally politically incorrect.
No, but I
Yeah. I
was.
mean,
I mean,
don't.
no, it's fine. He's not a MP anymore. He's gone out of politics also. So even if he watches this, which is very unlikely, he
So you
basically
really
used
helped
to
his
start
career.
his meetings at 7 in the morning, right? And then we would have to go around his constituency. Then I was also running a newspaper and a magazine. So then unka kaam raat ko hota tha. So like that office would start at 4 in the afternoon. So then I would be working till like 10, 11 in the night. Then I would sleep and then wake up again at 5. So,
But
I mean,
King Louis the 16th or 15th, the Sun King, he was famous for taking the meetings on the pot, on that big giant pot, open
oh,
commode. Yeah, and
okay.
he'd be on it, and you'd have to come and
That's
present your
actually
Ew.
a very
presentation
good.
early
I
morning.
mean, but that's a great utilization of time. I mean, you're doing
I
nothing
mean,
when
that
you're.
guy, and he wasn't
Yeah.
much into bathing, from what I
That, that's
gather.
that's ridiculous. Okay, like
True
10 minute
story.
लगते हैं. This,
10 मिनट क्यों तू एवरेज क्यों करता है तेरे को फ्रांस के बारे में फ्रांस के कल्चर के बारे में क्या मालूम है you just can't लगाओ like that you racist bastard you don't talk like this this is going to cost you a visa you be very careful They denied.
King Louis took giant long dumps basically.
No,
Like
Baba, it's
एक
not about
घंटे
the
का
dump.
meeting
It's the
करेंगे.
fact that you have to sit there in this big room because the thing was in the open. It wasn't like a bathroom. It was in the open. And they would sit around and they would chat. And then Jacques would say, Milord, I got this proposal. I want to make this bridge. And I got Indian contractor to build the bridge so we can do it again. And, and this guy is taking it. And he'll be like, yeah, show it to me and whatever. I mean, it sounds ridiculously obscene, but it's not impractical, is what I'm saying.
So basically,
Kajal,
they were
your
all
thoughts?
sitting on potties and having
No. He's the
group
king.
conversation.
He's having a little potty. You have no potty with the king. How dare you?
But someone's
How
got to. I
dare you
mean,
talk like that?
also, Cyrus, we're talking about a time before microphones and all of that. So whoever has a problem
Like
has to come
really,
near him.
Abbas?
Has to come near him and to tell him the problem, right? So, I mean,
Oh
he
Yeah,
has
you
to
can't
get up.
God!
scream.
Oh
No, you will not
God!
be near. Come on, this is a royal person. Okay, nobody
You
comes
can't
near.
even make a
But
face. What if the
you'll have a.
king gets offended?
You can't make a face. When you're
Yeah.
talking about smell and all that, you can't make a face. There's no way you can
But
say.
now that you
Aditya
mentioned
Aditya
this,
S
Kare.
says
Cyrus,
best way to keep meetings short. Well,
Yeah.
no. In England, they actually had a position called groom of stool, and it was a person who got to wipe the king's ass.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What if it's the queen? I might apply. The king, it's not my thing. What
and then
about
the,
you,
and
Meghnad?
then the king would write a LinkedIn post saying you should work for 18 hours. Why are
Let me tell you one
why are
thing.
you only showing up when I take a shit?
Abbas, the king wakes up. The
Yeah.
most important person for him
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
young Raju. Because without
Hmm.
young Raju, he can start his day. He doesn't care
That's
whether the
true.
queen is or the harem is or the son is or daughter. He doesn't care about that at all. He just needs little
Yeah.
Raju. Apna Raju
Little
kahan hai? This is
Raju.
first question in chaste
Of
English
course.
would be
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apna Raju kahan hai? And then, Raju will come, yeah, Milad. Ready.
Are we going to AMAs now, or should I get to a topic?
No, before, yeah, you can do a topic, Meghnad, and then we can go to
I can
EMS.
do a topic. I think
Yes.
this is one topic that Cyrus would like. So, Cyrus, did you see that video of Nitish Kumar and KCR meeting? So, KCR went to meet Nitish Kumar in Bihar, and like they're now trying to form another Gathbandhan.
It's
I
a
don't know what it
stronger,
will
it could
become.
be a stronger alliance in the long run for those against the center than the
Yeah.
few that we have put up in the past, to be honest.
But the awkward moment happened exactly what the reason people were saying the last Gathbandhan failed. So some reporter asked, "Ki once you come together, who will be the prime minister?" Right? And he asked KCR whether you will support him as prime minister. So उसमें भी उसने आग लगाई
See,
दी.
we
So
can answer this
Nitish
in
Kumar
a.
got up and left, tried to leave. Then
He's been doing
KCR
that a
Oh, he
was
lot.
trying
tried to leave. He tried to leave.
That's his thing,
Right.
modus operandi now. It's
So
me, Nitish, I'm leaving.
we'll put up the video on screen. You can talk through it, Meghnad.
I'm
Okay.
Yeah,
thinking
just set it up. Just set it
in
up till
French,
we
in
put
French
it
culture,
on.
it would have been which one of them gets the pot, in a sense, right?
Which one of
You
them
can't
gets
have
the
two
pot? Oh,
to sit on the pot, right? Because only the king gets that. I mean, you can't have 10 people like we discussed with Kajal.
right,
Just
right. It
reference
can either be
context.
Nitish on the pot or
Yeah,
KCR on the.
why? No, we don't need to illustrate points. This,
Okay. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see it on the screen.
अब इसके चक्कर में मत करेंगे अरे ये सब छोड़ तो दीजिए आप बैठिए ना
बैठिए ना सर, बैठिए ना सर।
सबके बारे में कह रहे हैं कि सबको हम लोग यूनाइट करने की कोशिश करेंगे
बैठिए ना सर, बैठिए।
जी अरे ये कह रहे हैं कि सबको अपोजिशन को यूनाइट करने की कोशिश हम लोग करेंगे तो हम लोगों की राय है, बात है, सबको मिल के करेंगे। इसलिए अभी क्या पूछ रहे हैं कि क्या होगा?
Pause.
So, so the thing is, it's funny, because so KCR is also like trying to project
No.
himself as a prime minister
KCR is a
material.
South Indian. He's trying to inculcate manners into the North Indian. First बैठ जाओ, फिर हम लोग बातचीत करते हैं. It's just a simple process, bro.
My favorite thing is the poor guards behind. They don't know
Oh, I
whether
love
to
them.
escort
I
them
love
out or to
How-
just hang
You're
behind.
talking about 18 guys. You're talking about 18-hour days. Look at that job. Okay, the most mindless, boring. You stand there, and listen to these guys talk 24 hours. You gotta
And one of
listen.
them is holding this pink towel. I don't know why.
Yeah.
No, but this,
Oh my God,
The,
are you suggesting because of the King Louis
No, I'm not
story that we
suggesting.
are?
I'm not.
Let's not pull that further, bro, guys. Let's just flush
this
that down
had
the toilet.
massive living room guests don't know whether to leave or to stay back wala energy where
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
when
exactly.
the guest wants to sit but the host wants to say कि
But
हाँ
did you
चलो
see
चलो हो
something?
गया है."
Did you see
हाँ,
Abbas? Did you see the sparkle in Nitish's eyes? He was really
yeah.
happy, like he has got this coup, in the back of his
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
He's planning, Machiavellian politics, and he was like, it was a happy sort of vibe about him. Like, my God,
Uh,
there's so much vindictiveness also in
kind of
being a
sad
politician.
though. This is the state of the opposition. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
They can't
That's fair.
agree
In a way,
upon
it's fair.
sitting or standing.
It's fair. If you want to fight a gigantic force, you've got to figure it out, man. You can't just behave
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
petty
Yeah.
politicians. So I mean,
No, and
that's
the weird thing is, and interesting thing now in Indian politics is that you can't just contest as a party anymore because there is this very strong prime ministerial figure. So we never vote for the prime minister, right? We don't have direct elections of the
Yeah.
prime minister or president. We always choose a party which comes to majority, and they from within themselves choose a prime minister, and then the prime minister chooses the cabinet. That is the process. So, yahan
and
pe, like
everything
we have
else, although
and
it's not
everything.
supposed to be. Huh.
But that is how things have changed now, where everybody is asking कि oh आपका prime minister candidate कौन होगा, right?
Hmm.
So technically it doesn't happen in our democracy. So they can act. Matlab, if you look at it, if everybody actually knew that this is how it works, they can actually get away with this. But reporters are constantly asking कि prime minister कौन होगा, prime minister
Yeah.
कौन होगा,
Yeah.
who versus Modi, who versus Modi, who
No,
versus
but
Modi.
one
That is
second,
the
in the
question.
spirit of transparency, if you're going to have a coalition, Gathbandhan, or whatever you want to call it, of whatever, whoever from wherever, you've got to put your cards on the table, na. This whole thing of बाद में
But
decide करते हैं हम लोग, जीतने के बाद decide
like,
करते, that's all
No, but
see,
bullshit.
that's
I
how
do
it
Also,
has
what
agree
happened in
with
always
that.
Maharashtra.
been so
Look
far.
at Maharashtra politics. I mean, it
Yeah.
has to be open and transparent, otherwise, because that's the bone of contention that breaks everything in any case at the end of the day.
But Cyrus, in
Cab-
the case of a coalition, na, like you are fighting so many seats, right? So smaller party, bigger party, some are fighting like all seats, some are fighting like smaller seats. So
Yes.
the number of seats will also determine how much you say you will
No,
have in the
then
equation
Someone
afterwards.
second, okay, but that that's like a PowerPoint. But I'm saying that the
Yeah.
MOU between say your party, my party, Abbas bhai, Kajol's party, we come together to fight say in the center, four parties.
Hmm.
We've got an understanding not just about who. There has to be a minimum guarantee of ministerial berths and who the prime minister is going to be. It's got to be clear. It's like a will when people die,
But
right? You
if they
cannot leave it
win,
open
na,
to kids.
if
Huh?
they win, if they
No, no.
win the seat,
If they
that is
win
also a
together
question.
collectively, because you can't guarantee how many seats you'll get. What you're saying is it'll depend on the fact that if I give you 20 Cs and I have so much, but that's the truth because you'll have that bargaining power because of that. But you have to have a little modus operandi before telling us exactly what's going to happen, and then you work through it depending on how well you've
Hmm.
done. But I think by
Sure.
and
I
large we
mean,
should know.
that is
Like for
one way to
But
example,
go about it.
if Uddhav was promised the chief ministership, then he was promised the chief ministership, and it looks very unlikely he wasn't promised the chief ministership. There's no doubt about that. What do you
Hmm.
think?
Hmm.
Right in that
True.
alliance, why would he make
But
that up? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, sure. I mean, I get your point that, like practically speaking, this might be the correct way to go. But like theoretically, the way our democracy is structured according to the constitution, I feel like questions of who will be the prime minister and cabinet minister should come later after the parties in power and the seats have been
Sa-
won. That
Cyrus,
is
Cabinet
then
where
you
to some
then you
extent,
lose out. Then you lose out on beauties like Devegowda and IK Gujral becoming the prime minister,
cabinet.
right?
Yeah,
Because
but
nobody
see,
would
that's what I'm
vote
saying exactly.
HD
Come
Devegowda
on.
as the prime minister
But
ministerial
see,
face
cabinet to some extent,
back
you
then.
I understand you have to wait. You have to see who's got what
Hmm.
position, where you stand, etc. But the PM, they definitely should have the decision beforehand, regardless of how many
Okay.
points they score. We've got to figure that out. Who the collective leader is. You're fighting, as he says, that party against you is all about one leader. You're not even telling
Yeah,
us who your leader is. Who am I voting for?
sure,
I don't even know the names of these people. Then how are you going to
sure,
hit
sure.
urban India, the 3 or 4 different Indias according to Veer Das that we have, plus the NRIs and Canada? So how are you going to hit all
Okay.
that? It's not possible.
Hmm.
I just want to say, Cyrus, if we all won the election in coalition, we'll make you the prime ministerial candidate.
No, I'm
That
going to be
goes
there.
without.
I was trying to
I
add that,
don't.
There you
I don't
go.
want
me.
There you
I
go.
don't want that.
Kajol is the
Me.
Nitish of this group. Okay, we have to go to the AMS. Cyrus, should we go to the AMS?
Yeah, I'm just saying good night to my son who actually sent me a good night, which is very rare. In
Aw.
Canada, it's good night time. If you guys want to know, I will
Speaking
tell you what
of,
the
I
time is.
mean, as someone who's probably the only one alive who was alive when
It's
the Soviet
9:35
Union
a.m. It's not
was
good night
around,
time. Why is he saying good night?
Yeah, why is
One
he
second,
saying
I'm
good
getting
night?
scared.
he
It's
just
not good
My
came
night
son
to
back.
is saying good night
you.
at
It's your good
9:35
night
a.m.
time, Cyrus.
Cyrus, he just came
No,
back
it's a
from a
bit
night
early
of
for me.
partying.
I think I should call him. I'm a little worried. It's 9:30 in the morning in Toronto on a Thursday.
Are you sure the text
Why is
was
he
for
saying good
you?
night?
It was for
It's,
you, Cyrus. Like he's wishing you good night.
You can call
my
him. I
good night
mean,
is about 2.5 hours away. You know that. I celebrate the good
But
night
it's
at the right
okay.
time.
Like 7 बजे
Okay.
good night बोल दिया उसने.
Okay. Doesn't matter. Maybe he was texting somebody else.
yeah, I
You
think
know,
so too.
Maybe.
maybe someone in
Yeah,
Japan or
Maybe.
something.
yeah.
3 4
Yeah,
hours
maybe
ahead.
someone else in
Okay,
another
girl.
time.
Let's call her Yuki. He's got a girlfriend. Her name is Yuki. He's texting her. All good.
Yeah.
Sayonara. Good night. Where's my accent expert? Okay,
Oh dear
he's left.
God.
Yeah.
Not
We
here.
apologize to all
Uh,
foreign nationals. Ours is not a racist tirade against anyone. It's just bad performances by poor actors. That's it. Yes, sir.
Okay,
What was
AMA
the
time. Question number 1 comes from Kumar Sanu. Kumar Sanu says, AMA for Cyrus Brocha. How are you the way you are?
Kumar, let me explain genetics.
Wow.
There's a Y chromosome and an X chromosome, and they battle it out, and then there's two of one and one of two, and things
Uh,
like that. And to cut a long story short, I can't. How do I explain this question? I can apologize for who I am, and I should, probably with a disclaimer. But beyond that, the other thing I used to get a lot early days was, are your parents funny? Are you funny at home? Are you always funny? And funny, are you funny during sex? Well, they do laugh during sex, but it's not. It's more like a, you know, not out of respect of any kind, I suppose. Kajal is still laughing. She's just thinking of the visual. Some woman getting up.
I have never met. No, I have never met a guy who was funny during sex. Okay, I'm sorry. That does not happen.
You've never had a funny
No.
person. Oh, okay. You're very
no, I
intense.
think the act itself becomes funny after a
Oh my
point.
God, I find it
But
very
No,
funny.
anyway,
that's just you.
Yeah.
Please don't generalize, Abbas.
No.
That's
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next question. This
I
one
would like to
comes
talk
from.
more about this topic, but my 15-year-old daughter has now decided to enter the room on the one time we're discussing coitus, which, by the way, is what her teacher uses in class to use when they talk about the subject. Right, Maya?
This question
Eyebrows.
comes from Saurabh.
Teenage
Saurabh
women
says,
answer you with eyebrows. Huh.
Hi Cyrus, Kunal has said Vada Pav has devalued the value of Vada and he said Misal is diluted version of Usal. What are your thoughts?
Well, ever since he got pancreatitis, it's all about vegetarian food for him. So he's left now submerged in this world. He's trying to make the most of it. While I can order anything I like. Ashtray. Now, vada pav, yes. Now, I know that Meghnad has some, I don't know what he is now because he's a North Indian boy from Nagpur. So it's all over the place. But there's
Yeah.
some vada pav in the genes somewhere, somehow. And he may
Yeah,
have
yeah,
an
yeah.
emotional bond to it. I believe it's an overrated concept because the bread kills the taste. Back in Xavier's, when we used to have it, I would always I made the two version where you put the sandwich inside and you put the two vadas on top and below, so the
I like
reverse
that.
burger.
I
It was
like
much
that.
tastier, and plus the mirchi stayed on your tongue, which I like a lot
Mm.
as well. Yeah.
That
So
does sound nicer.
I don't like the bread that much. I don't like bread as a concept except for the burger. You know,
Hmm.
paratha,
Mm.
yes, roti, of course, naan, 100%, rumali for sure, but not, and all
Not
those
the
Keema
kulcha,
pav.
pao?
kulcha.
Keema pao, nahi?
I don't. The bread doesn't do it for me, really. I mean, we eat it because we grew up, and that's how that's what they gave us. But
And
it's
the
the keema.
vada is actually called aloo bonda, no? Like if it's like given separately, it's aloo bonda.
No, that's
Yeah.
Delhi.
In Karnataka, yes.
No, it's
Which,
Maharashtra only.
No, no.
if it was
Bonda,
aloo
I think,
ponda, it would
comes
be a
from
Parsi
Karnataka.
lady. Just by the way.
Hey,
Huh.
if I make a
Okay.
mistake in this, don't tweet to me saying I should stop coming on podcasts.
So
Okay.
leave the South alone. Abbas, once we tell them where you're
I
really
love
from,
South India. I love
no,
South India.
but you're from UP, so let's remember that. Be very careful.
Yeah,
We saw the boat.
that's true.
You're one of those guys on
I
the boat.
try.
Okay,
I try
your
to
boat
hide it.
reached Mumbai, so you're okay now. Yeah. Huh.
Okay, the next question
Bonda
comes from Anupam.
Karnataka.
There you
Bonda
go.
comes from
Vindicated.
Karnataka.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anupam Lodi says AMA for the entire panel. What do you add first, milk or cereal?
I can't eat
Cyrus?
cereal because of the
Cereal.
glucose issue. No, I would
Hmm.
always add milk when I had it, or if I have a diabetic cereal, I would
Yeah.
have put the milk first. Then I would
Why
put the
milk
non-sugar
first?
sugar.
Why
I don't
milk
know. I just
first?
I always put milk first. In the protein, I put the milk first, and then I put the protein powder. I
But
always
then
it mixes
you
better.
can't estimate how much cereal and then
So
how
I
much
want to
milk.
make sure I have more milk than cereal when I have it. Always. I
That's
like the
Yeah,
taste
there
of
are
milk.
these weird
So
people who like soupy cereal, which I don't get.
yeah, you could
I
say
don't
that.
have milk, so I mean that's
what
a
do you
question.
have?
I have dahi. So like I
Dahi
like
and
Cereal and
cereal,
dahi.
dahi. Yeah.
That's
What
like gay
the?
cereal.
No.
Sorry, I
Like
apologize for that. That's
you
really
haven't had this.
I have
Wait.
dahi.
No.
Dahi and
No,
cornflakes.
dahi. No, not cornflakes. No.
No, one sec, one sec.
Muesli.
Hey, guys,
Acha,
stop.
muesli. Okay.
When you go to your
Muesli.
next 5-star hotel brunch, you must have yogurt and cereal. That's fantastic. Ooh, yummy. I want
One
it so
second.
But
bad.
What
it's
cereal? Like
Like
cornflakes and
is this
yogurt.
You put
sarcasm?
any cereal you want, you add the yogurt with it, and the yogurt being semi-fluid, obviously it's semi-ish. It is
That's
liquid.
what I
Come
was
on.
saying.
semi solid.
Dahi
Yeah.
is from the
Dahi is
same
yogurt,
family.
right?
It's from the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. Yeah.
the taste is
Dahi is yogurt.
bland taste. Yeah,
Yeah, even I was under the impression dahi is yogurt. Is it
it
not?
is
Yeah, it is
yogurt, but
yogurt.
yogurt
Yeah.
is like, okay, yogurt is sophisticated dahi. Okay, now let's not get into it because I
Okay.
don't know how to explain it to you.
So
Yogurt
like,
works
is it
well with
dahi
granola.
vada or yogurt vada?
In South Bombay circles, it's yogurt vada.
Yogurt vada.
Yogurt vaja.
Or is it
No, I wouldn't have
yogurt
dahi.
bonda?
The dahi we have at home, I wouldn't mix that. It wouldn't work for me. I want the
But
yogurt.
Cyrus,
Yeah,
you're the
Achha,
only
okay,
one
got it.
saying
Angrezi
that.
sounding yogurt. I want that. No, you guys
Right,
have to
got
taste
it.
it and then knock it. Don't be
No,
racist
I know
about
what
food.
you
No.
mean.
Just
No, I
taste
know
it
what
and
you
try.
mean, Cyrus. Like,
Baba.
I also have like dahi and yogurt separately. I mean, like in the fridge right now. So I know what you
What
Exactly.
is
mean.
yogurt?
Exactly.
What is
I know what
yogurt
So
you
why
mean.
then?
don't you, if it's so bloody close, why don't you have it together? That's a very good point. Well
Good.
done,
One
my
second,
Louis the
one second,
16th. Well
okay,
done.
Meghnad, what is dahi and yogurt separately?
Yeah.
So
Okay, I'll
what
tell
have
you. Right. So
Ah.
It's
dahi is
desi
the
yogurt,
classical
bro.
curd. The classical dahi, which is the curd you have, right? Which is
Yeah.
more watery, but the yogurt is more thick and creamy.
So
So
how do you
the
make
thick and
it?
creamy. So I don't know
Okay,
like
this
how
is
the
very
process
sexual.
is.
Can you stop talking to each other? Guys, it's just simple. It's treated a little differently, and
Yogurt is
the
broccoli
texture is
of
different.
gobi. What?
Look, it's different. Okay, the
you're
taste is
just a
different.
bunch of
Yogurt is
It is
men.
just
different. I
dahi
agree.
that went to
Kajol,
English medium
that's
school.
not fair. I
Okay.
want you to do an experiment when you have time on the weekend. You get dahi, buy yogurt which comes in a thing with a brand and whatever.
That is dahi
Epigamia or
only.
whatever.
It's
Greek
just
thing
thicker
and the
than what we
fancy
make
thing.
at home, but it's dahi.
Whatever.
Yes.
Yogurt
Okay,
and dahi are the
I
same.
don't care. Just eat
No.
it together. Put it in two things, and you eat it one. Like a Pepsi Coke test. And
Or
just tell me after. Come back
I
and
have
talk to us
another
about it.
idea. Kajol, I have another idea, right? To taste it
Yes.
and to actually understand the difference, look up this recipe for Turkish eggs on
I have made
YouTube.
Turkish eggs.
Right.
Okay, because
So
I'm
you need
one
a
of the people in this
specific
panel who
kind
can
of
cook.
yes. Thank you. And it's
Wow.
amazing. But
Cookism.
Okay, so what you're talking
Cookism.
about,
Cookism now.
is Greek yogurt.
Greek
Okay, when you
yogurt.
hang
Yeah, Greek yogurt.
dahi, when you hang dahi in a muslin cloth, you get Greek yogurt.
Yes.
It's not some
yes.
fabulous thing which you all are inventing yourselves.
No,
It is
no, we
just
aren't.
Wait,
It's
Hamisha
not about
has another
inventing,
point
guys.
of view.
I'm talking like a primate, like a
Yeah.
primitive man. All I'm saying is purely on taste. Okay, be color blind and texture blind. Just taste it and see the difference. They are cousins,
Hamisha
but they're
says
not
it's
the same. That's all
linguistic.
I'm
She
saying.
says curd is British English, yogurt is American English.
which is true.
Ah.
Himisha, I used to be your friend. I feel ashamed to say this. Is dahi
Is
sexist?
the he
'Cause you have to-
sexist because you have to say he to pronounce his? Okay, moving on.
Kashin is back.
We
Kashin
take
is
two
back.
more,
It was
two more
COVID. It
questions.
was a long bout. He's back. Good to know he's fine. Right. Arts of Seduction by Seema Anand. Go to him as a special prize.
You still have that book next to your
I have
table.
all the
Good
books,
to know.
mostly unread, from all the people who have appeared on the show. And my wife is going berserk. Okay. She's going to throw me and the books out one day.
Okay. This one comes from Girish Patil. How are you feeling about Gorbachev's demise, especially Cyrus, since he's a big fan? I've seen a lot of extreme left almost celebrating the death, since in their eyes, he was an American stooge.
I think it was very unfair. He had the guts at the end of the day to allow the world to change from the bipolar world that it was. It was. I named my son after him, no question. Because in the middle of my Xavier's College political science major, we had one subject out of 6 was USSR. It was this big, the book. Reading all about it. And in the middle, there's no USSR. The teachers say we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. So the whole thing was erstwhile USSR. We had to answer every question beginning with erstwhile USSR. And that just put it all in perspective for us. But I'm a big fan. I think he'll be remembered with passing of time even better and better as a statesman. Again, not like so much in Russia as he is abroad, not so much with the left-leaning, far-leaning left as he is with
Right.
maybe some people closer to the center. But there's no doubt.
Was he an
that
American stooge though?
That's not fair. Yeah, maybe you just simplify things and say things like that and we're supposed to say yes. It's not like that. I mean, whatever you say about Reagan, the cowboy, and Gorbachev, the Russian, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
these two men changed the world. You gotta accept that.
They did. Of course they did. Yeah. I mean, impact-wise, sure.
After
I
Lenin
get
and McCartney, the two most important people of the 21st century.
that. Hmm.
Who, Gorbachev
Hmm.
and Reagan?
Reagan, pay attention to the
Okay.
podcast.
Okay.
I would say Gandhi was also one of them.
Not up to the level of Lennon and McCartney in Cyrus's eyes.
Yeah, I mean, like
More of a
Gandhi.
Ringo.
Gandhi was
If you can
one of
write a
them.
song with the harmony that If I Fell gives you, I'll stand and salute you too. If I fell in love with you, would you promise to be true? Kajal, take it away.
Can we do one last
Help
question?
me
Yeah,
understand, cause I've been in love before, and I found that love was more than just holding hands.
That's nice.
Ah, you guys just
nice.
terrible. Where's the talent gone in India? You sit on pots and
Very
hold
nice,
pots,
Cyrus.
and I mean, what's going on here?
Well done. That was
Thank you.
great. That was a
Thanks. I'll
great
sit on your
song,
lap tomorrow
Cyrus.
and sing it properly. Uh, are we done? It's
Uh,
7:10.
Ek aur
I want to take
EMA.
one last question.
Okay.
Rishi is trying to signal something to me. I can't figure it out. Okay,
It's
he's
good
put
night.
something
It's
on.
good night time.
I am
Sahil
3
Capri
months
says,
older.
Cyrus,
3 months older
are
than
you older
Bangladesh,
than
but I've done this a
Bangladesh?
lot. I've done this in shows that nobody watches. That literally 71. It's also the year Morrison died, and Janis Joplin,
Mhm.
and Jimi Hendrix. The three
Oh,
Oh,
J's. Yeah, 71.
Jimi
Big year.
damn.
Hendrix died. Oh,
Yeah, all three. The three
when?
J's they call it. They all died in
Okay.
71. Bangladesh was born, not a J, though in some languages it's J Bangladesh, so J Bangladesh, so maybe. And yeah, and the birth of a legendary, waste of time person. Me.
Sahil
Yeah.
Kafri has also asked Kajol and Abbas, why don't you call Cyrus on an episode of Thirst Trap? Kajol, would you like to tell him why?
Yeah, because we had a version of Thirst Trap on a new app, and everyone did not turn on their mics or their cameras. So we are not holding any more thirst traps for you fuckers.
Also, we do it at midnight, and Cyrus goes to sleep at 9.
First, I have to figure out what my son's doing. Saying good night at 9:30
Cool.
a.m. on a
Okay, we're
working day.
done.
We're paying through our nose for him to be in Canada. What's going on there? I'm just worried. I just saw the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
tomorrow, Shantanu Hazarika's interview episode. Do tune in for
He
that
was
one at
great.
10
He
a.m. He
was
was
great.
great.
And
I
what I
was
liked
also on
about
the
him is
episode.
he also
Yeah.
spoke to Akash and Naveen, and the way he bitched them out, I was so impressed. I mean, those loafers, those oafs, and we really hit it off. Really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do buy the merch. Go to ivmpodcast.com. There's a shop tab. Once you click there, you'll be
He's
redirected
dating
to the
Shruti
merch
Hassan,
page.
by the way.
Yes, Shantanu Hazarika is dating Shruti Hassan, and he's told us that he'll ask her also to come on the show. Let's see how
She already
accurate
said
he is
no.
about that.
She's already said no.
Oh, he
She's
messaged you,
heard.
did he?
She's heard a She's
Oh,
heard a podcast.
oh,
She's a big
Abbas.
Kajol fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Abbas, वो वाले podcast में please. Shruti
हाँ,
Hassan.
sure. Yeah,
मेरे
we'll,
वाले.
we'll,
And
we'll
being
figure
being
something
The
Indians,
out.
one we are
being
doing.
Indians, it won't be long
He's
before
stealing
Sarika.
guests right under your
No,
nose, Cyrus.
no, but the Indian way is Sarika and Kamala Hassan. Everybody has to come on the show, because that's
Sure,
the way
sure.
we
Yeah.
work, right?
We'll do
I mean,
that.
before
Yes.
you know it, the entire South industry we brought in one by one. I mean,
Yeah.
look at us. Yeah.
But can I be on those episodes? Because I've been asked not to be on
No,
podcasts.
no.
'cause I-
The Kannada, when the Kannada film stars come, you cannot come on the because I don't want any violence. So we can't have you on at that
One
point. Yeah.
troll
Kannada-
comment and you're crying all through the podcast.
I'm not
Abbas.
crying. I'm
Yeah.
just
Dhona, dhona.
complaining.
Look at this veteran of trolling sitting right here. Like she's like last
Tino
week
file.
में veteran बन गई है वो.
Tino
Kajol, you
Files.
want to plug any shows before we wrap up?
No, it's a very
Yeah.
boring week.
I do.
It's Ganpati
Yeah,
week, bro. Nothing is
Please
on.
go
no?
ahead, Meghna.
Yeah, एक तो
Nothing is
गणपति
on this
बाप्पा
weekend.
मोरया. Guys, गणपति बाप्पा मोरया.
पुढच्या
Yes,
वर्षा
everyone.
लवकर या.
Yeah, पुढच्या
Yeah.
वर्षी.
And,
अभी
and,
नहीं,
and, and
थोड़ी देर
guys, not that I'm against festivals, but can you stop the bombs? Okay, they scare the dogs, they scare me, they
Yeah.
scare old people. Stop with the bombs.
It's
There's
true.
no
Yeah,
correlation
yeah,
to festive activity. And if you're gonna, at least shoot somebody if you're gonna make a sound like that. I mean, for God's sake, it's pointless otherwise. Really. Boom.
Tune into ELI 10 for tomorrow's episode. We have
There's
a
too many
very
instructions.
fun
What do you
guest.
think these guys are? They got nothing to do. You can't give them 20 instructions.
They're watching this show. Clearly, they
I
have
just
nothing
said
to do.
show.
Before this,
and then
before
you're
this,
sounding like
literally-
continuing classroom. Suniye beta, what the hell?
No,
I think
before
we're
this,
doing
I
too
said
much.
Ganpati Bappa Moria. Then
That
you had
doesn't
an
exclude-
entire thing on that.
So
That's
once
not
you
an
make a religious,
instruction.
look at you right winger, one religious rant, and you can say anything after that. What the hell?
That's how it works in 2022, Cyrus.
We're learning.
अच्छा, मुझे
And King
plug
Louis,
करने दो,
इसको कुछ
please.
नहीं पता है.
Plug करने दो. Look at Kajol's face while I do this. ELI 10, new episode dropping tomorrow. We have a very special guest, Sakshi Joshi, who is a super independent journalist, and she talks about certain things. And
Hey,
we
you don't have
have
You don't have to say super independent. In India, if she's a journalist, an actual one, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's huge, honestly. That's it. That's the line. Yeah.
no, I've explained why she's also a super independent journalist, but for that you'll have to watch a podcast. And also, our friend Silvery is on it as well with her.
What is he doing with a journalist? He had to drop
It's
a
the
home.
format, Cyrus. We get an expert and we get someone.
He gets an expert and he
Okay.
gets a moron.
One second,
Last
one second.
time
As
the
we
moron
say
She
was
bye.
quit
me.
journalism after the
Let me
episode.
release Abbas. Let me release Abbas for 1 second. Abbas, do a delivery in this new podcast for 1 second as we say bye.
So, what's the guest's name, Meghna?
Sakshi Joshi.
So, Sakshi, the other day I was driving down and I couldn't find parking there. And from Powai, you travel all the way to Bandra. And there's no parking.
Yes, spot on, spot on. Superb. Chalo, great,
Anyway,
Abbas.
bye
Bye,
guys.
guys.
See you
That's
tomorrow.
great. Yeah.